That's all you. For the record, I've never heard myself snore, so I can't confirm nor deny that. But I probably do. So.
Hey, well, talk to me about your interactions with the Las Vegas Raiders, and what would it mean to you to get to play for Coach Chip Kelly again?
That'd be awesome, man. And seeing that, that move from Coach Kelly, I'm so happy for him. And he's one of the best coaches I've had, man. And one of my favorite people I've been around. And we've stayed in contact, and I hope it'd be amazing to get the opportunity to play for him again. Really, anyone. I'd be happy to go anywhere, man. But he's a great dude, and I'm just so happy that he got the opportunity that he did, and I think that's a really good place.
Well, when you think about the pro last year and now that you're actually in the process, how much more prepared do you feel now versus when you
Yeah, I feel a ton more prepared, for sure. Like, without a doubt, I am. This year at Ohio State, I wanted it to be a step up, and I talked about, the two things that I was looking for in a school were developing as a prospect and developing, my draft stock and competing for a national championship. One of those boxes checked, and now going into this process, like, the things that we went through this year, what I learned, going into a new locker room, having to win over a locker room, like, all those different things really, truly taught me so much, and I feel really well prepared.
Well,
I think my consistency definitely improved. Being able to, up my completion percentage from whatever 59 or whatever it was in my career at K-State to, 73 this year. I think, I was more accurate. I think I was able to show more arm strength. I definitely probably didn't run the ball as much as I, normally did at Kansas State this past year, but really didn't need to. We had some dudes, back there to carry the load for me. But I feel like I just developed in every aspect of my game, and it was just a blessing to come to Ohio State, man. It was the best decision I ever made.
Naturally, you coming into that room meant also taking over as the leader of that quarterback room, and obviously Lincoln and Julian are left behind. What do you think you impressed under those guys, and what do you think fans should be expecting to see from them this year?
Yeah, man, I think, we just had a great vibe in that room, and we had a lot of fun together. And I'm excited for them to, kind of take over and be the guys going forward, because, Julian coming in, he's a little soft-spoken guy. He's quiet, but, now it's his time. Now it's Lincoln and Tavian and those guys, and I'm excited for them, man. I hope that I could have had, a little bit of an impact on them. Gave some of the things that I've learned from some of the guys that were, above me when I was at Kansas State, like Adrian and Skyler, and some of the guys that I learned from there. I hope I could have left some nuggets with them and showed them, at the very least, how to treat people, and how to work hard, and all those different things. And I mean, I'm rooting for those guys, man. I'm pulling for them. We still stay in contact, so I'm gonna be pulling for the Buckeyes big time next year.
well, who are some NFL wide receivers that you fantasize about throwing a touchdown pass to?
Shoot, they're all unbelievable. I of course, being the Ohio State guy, I'd love to throw to like Garrett and Chris and JSN and Marv. But you could go down the line. I've always really loved Devontae Adams' game. I thought his game was really awesome. I think the two LSU guys with Jamar and Justin are unbelievable. You go down the list. There's a ton. I couldn't pick one.
In hindsight, how was Michigan able to have success defensively against you guys that no other team really was able to last season?
I don't know, man. It was they were a stout front, and they did a good job up front. But we're here to talk about the draft and the combine.
Well, in terms of the top three quarterbacks that you really like to watch in the league, who would you say those are?
It's a good question. I got to say Patrick Mahomes, because he's a dog. Josh Allen, I love watching Josh. I think he's obviously deserving of the MVP award, and did a great job. But I think that third guy, I'd probably have to say Lamar. I just love watching Lamar play. He's developed a lot as a quarterback, and I think a lot of people were saying he was just a running back coming into it, man. But like, he truly has turned into an elite thrower, and I think that's that's a cool part. And those three guys, I love watching those three guys.
Will, what are
Yeah,
some,
man.
what are some lessons you think you took from the playoff run that you can then translate into your time in the NFL?
Man, shoot, what didn't I learn, man? I learned a lot from this past year, but you know, you're never out of it, man. And you know, it felt like the world, you know, was caving in on us after that last game of the year, and you know, a lot of people wanted to say that, but you know, we still had to cling to hope that you know that we'd still win a national championship, and we did that. We banded together and said, you know, no matter what, no matter how hard this feels right now, no matter what adversity we go through, we got to stick together. And I think, you know, the power of team and the power of God and the power of belief, man, like was shown throughout that whole playoff run, and we were able to really just, you know, impose our will on some teams.
Will, that team, how much did you, just how much momentum did you build for yourself through the playoff run to kind of help your stock here with thinking about it?
Yeah, I think that was huge for me. You know, a lot of people were telling me, you know, different things about where my draft stock was after the year, and wasn't really sure going into the playoffs. But they said, you know, hey, you could really help yourself out if you know, have a strong showing in the playoffs. So, you know, I said, all right, deal. You know, let's see how this thing goes, and you know, try and put my best foot forward. And I think, you know, the thing that is important about that is, you know, I played my best ball when the lights were the brightest, and I think I proved to people that, you know, I am best when, you know, the pressure's on, and you know, when the playoffs came along, like I think that was one of the best things, and you know, I was able to really just let it rip, man. And I was just being confident. I was, you know, throwing the deep ball well. I was being accurate. I mean, being able to go 13 for 13 to start the national championship was, you know, one of the better starts I've had to a game. So, you know, I think, you know, I learned a lot, and I was able to push myself and able to show teams that, you know, hopefully I can be that face of the franchise, and I can be a starting quarterback in the NFL for a long time.
What do you get from Jake Heaps? What do you get from Jake Heaps working with him?
Jake's a great guy, man. I love working with Jake, and he's helped me a lot, man, on and off the field. And he's a great man, unbelievable man of faith, and I love that dude, man. And you know, whether he taught me nothing, you know, on the field, he's just been a great impact on my life, and he's taught me a lot. He's helped me a ton, you know, trying to get more velocity on my ball, and I think he's done a great job for me.
I saw you and Ron tossing with him in the hallway here yesterday. What was that about?
Getting ready, man. Getting turned up.
There was a lot of talk about the top two quarterbacks in this class, but I feel like there's an opportunity for you to maybe get to that 3 spot, make that push. What's it like to kind of have that opportunity to make some ground up here at the combine?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's unbelievable quarterback talent in this whole draft class. You know, I'm not going to talk about anybody else, man, but you know, I believe in myself, and I think, you know, I think I can be that guy for a team, and I truly believe that. You know, I think I showed it as the season went on this year. You know, it's not always going to be perfect, and you know, I think I was able to show, you know, through the times of adversity and bouncing back from that, you know, I was able to, you know, not let things get to me, and you know, I was able to make elite throws and make decisions when the lights were the brightest. And you know, I think, you know, I just hope that there's a team out there that, you know, falls in love with me, and you know, I still have that chip on my shoulder, man. I'm always going to have that. You know, I love being kind of the underdog and kind of coming from behind, and I think that's, you know, that's where I thrive and where I want to be.
What was the impact?
Billy, man, my dog. Like, I'm so happy for him, and you know, if Coach Day didn't hire him as the quarterback coach, I would have had a problem with it. But man, he taught me so much this year. He was integral to my development, and he is absolutely, without a doubt, 100% the best man for that job. And I think he's going to be great for that room. You know, he brings a human element to it, where he's not that much older than us, you know, so he's able to relate to us on, you know, kind of a, you know, guy to guy level. But he's also, you know, able to lock in, and like, he taught me more than a lot of, you know, guys in that role ever could have. And you know, he really was kind of the mouthpiece from Coach Day to me, Coach Kelly to me at a lot of times if they were doing anything else. Like, he was really like my personal one-on-one QB coach at times, and he was great, man. And I got all the praise in the world for that dude. He helped me so much. The things that we did on Thursdays, going on our walks, talking about every play in the game plan, you know, what is each pass play, you know, what's it best against, what's it good against, what we have to manage it against. I felt so prepared going into every single game, and a big part of that was because of Billy.
What was it like playing in Chip Kelly's offense last year, and would you like to do it on the next level now?
Man, I love Chip, and his offense is, you know, he's he's an elite play caller, and you know he's creative as hell. Like you know all the things that we were doing, like he's elite, man, and a great guy. And you know I cherish our relationship, man. And you know I would love the opportunity to play for him again. But you know obviously things have to fall into place. You know, we'll see. You know, obviously, I would be happy to go anywhere, but if I got the chance to play for him, I would love it.
What stood out about Julian Sand as a quarterback when you were in the room?
Julian's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've been around, and the ball just looks so pretty coming out of his hand. Like it spins like prettier than I've seen a lot of balls come out of quarterbacks' hands, and he, you know, he's got a real chance to be elite, man. I'm excited for him. You know, he definitely is stepping into that leadership position, and I'm excited for him to take on that new role. And you know, he was a little soft-spoken at first, but now like this is his sophomore year, man. I'm excited for him to take that step, really be that leader for the team. And I mean, the talent is there, man, and he's put on some weight. He's done good things, and you know, I think I'm just excited for him.
How much of those leadership traits are just something that's natural? Like it seems like it was a natural thing for you to go in there and kind of develop yourself as a leader. Is that something that's natural, or is that something you have to learn over time?
I think it's a little bit of both, man. That's a really good question. You know, I think some of that is innately in you, and I think, you know, me personally, I'm an outgoing guy. You know, I like to keep things light, crack jokes, whatever. And part of that is just in you. But the thing is, I wasn't perfect when I got to K-State. Like, you know, I was maybe a little different in how I approached things, and I learned a lot from the people in front of me, man. I learned a lot from my coaches at K-State, you know, my parents, the people in front of me at K-State, just looking at other guys, you know, at the college and NFL levels, trying to emulate their games and emulate their leadership styles. I think a lot of that, you know, I learned, but some of it is innately in you. I think it's a little bit of a balance of both.
Well, when you your ability to process the field and make the decision that you're proud of when you show people your recipes.
I mean, I think you could look at a lot of different things, turn on the film, and you know, I think, you know, I could talk through pretty much any play. You know, you want to bring up a play, I'll tell you, you know, why I did what I did, what the read was, what the play call was, what the protection was. I know pretty much all that stuff. I mean, you know, like looking out there in the national championship game, like on that first touchdown. I mean, we went, you know, and did the little ghost motion with JJ, and you know, we had the Y come in motion before the play. A lot of people don't even notice that. He came in motion to kind of give a man zone indicator. I could tell they were communicating that they were in man. And, you know, I knew that if I got my eyes back on that guy that was man on Jeremiah and found him where he was at, then the answers to the test were right there. And obviously he was like on the other side of the field because he thought he was running around. I don't blame him. He had to beat him over the top. But, you know, there's examples of that everywhere. I think that's one of the best parts of my game. I believe I'm an elite processor. You know, I can recall things like nothing.
Well,
What's
the team meeting after the Michigan game, what does it say about Ryan Day to sit there, close the doors, and let you guys hash it out?
Yeah, man, he's a player's coach. You know, and a lot of that was, you know, it was him, but it was also us. And it was, you know, the leaders and the group of guys in the locker room that were able to kind of sit down and say, man, like, we still have something to play for. And, you know, we had a leadership meeting before we even had that players meeting, and we kind of got together and we're like, how are we going to attack this? And I think, you know, the quality of people in that room is a big reason why we did what we did. And, you know, there could have been a tough reaction to that. I mean, people were called out. People were, you know, we hashed things out, and it was the best thing for us because we have mature people in that room that were able to take criticism, to give it out, and to understand what we needed to do to go on that run and win a national championship, and we did what we had to do.
Well, when you were doing scout teams, when you were throwing into the scout team, what did Jalen McLean do that maybe gave you some challenges? It seems like he's somebody people are talking about.
Jalen's a dude, man. He was my 18 partner, man, and I honestly didn't go against him much on the scout team. He was on the second team most of the year, but we would go against him, you know, at fall camp and stuff. And he's instinctive, man. And when you're a safety, you know, you kind of have to be a ball hawk a little bit. He had great ball skills. I remember him going and picking a ball off on like the other side of the field when he was on the other hash. I was like, man, I thought I could get away with that for him. Like, he's a true freshman, like, you know, and he's gonna be special, man. He flies around, you know, he likes to hit stuff, and he's instinctive and a ball hawk for sure.